Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Dad. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Uh, I have my co-host Brian with me.
Hello.
So today we're gonna keep it pretty simple. It's Father's Day, and we're gonna kind of see what that means to the both of us and go from there. Brian, so what does Father's Day mean to you? What do you do? What the common things you do with your family, or kind of take it whatever direction you want. What do you like in a Father's Day?
All right. So first, again, happy Father's Day to you, Van. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. It's I think Father's Day is super cool. For me, Father's Day is generally a pretty standard kind of workflow, for lack of a better term, that I do. Generally I'll get up, somebody will make me breakfast, which I'll probably do right after this. We'll do a lunch where generally my mom and my brother or any other family that wants to come out will come out. And ironically, I think this is like for a lot of dads. I will grill. Actually, for Father's Day, I got a new like flat top like griddle, like an outdoor one. So I'll do the cooking, and then we'll kind of just talk and kind of check in and have just a general kind of cookout vibe with it, which I personally really enjoy. So that's kind of my Father's Day plan for today. Is from here, breakfast. I'll go get my other two kids. We'll come back. We'll do some grilling out and just kind of have a chilled, relaxed day. So this will be for me the first Father's Day without my stepdad, which is a little bit different. So it's my first Father's Day where in my family I am the oldest dad, uh, which is just weird. Like it's weird. I don't know how to explain it. Like I still have like my in-laws are still here, which I'm super thankful for. But on my side, now I'm the oldest dad. So getting that kind of move, like dealing with that, and it kind of brings up some hard stuff when you're thinking about it. But for me, it's really just spending time with family, kind of messing around cooking and just having as relaxed of a day as possible is what I would like to do. And we'll see what happens because generally I'll have some kind of random task that'll pop up today. So how about for you, Van? What is Father's Day for you?
Interesting things you brought up. Made me think about a couple of things. Excuse me. Father's Day to me means, I mean, right away it doesn't mean a whole lot. Uh, I'm trying to think about the last couple. I mean, I've only been a father for two 2 years, 8 months, 2 years, 7 months, something like that. So maybe even longer if you count the womb months. Uh, I think we just probably went out for lunch or dinner or something like that. We didn't do very much. For me, I I mean, since it's a holiday for myself, and I think last year my dad was out of the country, so it was just basically Happy Father's Day to him. A phone call kind of thing. So we didn't really do very much for him, and then for me, it's just whatever anybody wants to do. I mean, I guess it's more for a holiday for me. I guess when the kids get older, if they want to do something, I'll attend to that. But it if it's just something like I'm pushing for somebody to do something for me, I wouldn't do that. If they want to do something, they can. Great. Uh, I think I mean within our family, my wife has only been here for a handful of years, so she doesn't really know when Father's Day is.
So
Vietnam doesn't
do
have Father's Day.
I was gonna say, do they do does Vietnam do Father's Day or is that more of an American thing?
It is an American thing. I don't know if it's originated in America. I'm sure Europeans may do it, but most holidays and stuff like that, it's more centered around women. Excuse me, because I mean, Father's Day seems like an irrelevant kind of thing because men are over there are it seems to be celebrated more often than women anyway. So for them to celebrate men on a specific holiday, it seems like probably too much. So yeah, for us, I mean, I was mentioning my mom. My mom probably forgot to. I'm telling her probably on Friday. It's like, oh, it's Father's Day. We were at Costco probably on Thursday, and my wife bought some flowers for me and my dad. And it's like, I was telling her like, yeah, why? He probably knows you because you probably was telling me about it. Like, I was telling my wife, you know how flowers make me feel? Just empty inside. So whenever I look at so, so she was trying to figure out like what to get me, and so I was like, I don't know, whatever you want. So what I was thinking about when you were saying, oh yeah, and we're probably gonna grill too. So I'm probably gonna do that.
So do you grill or
Um,
does your dad grill?
I'll probably be the first one up if I am running around with the kids. So we'll look at it. Um, so it's between us. I was thinking about when you were talking about holidays and stuff like that. Um, I was listening to the Jay Shetty. I don't know if you know about him, Jay Shetty podcast. He used to be a monk. He's a relationship kind of guru. I don't know if you can say guru, but he talks about love and relationships and stuff like that. But he had a question to him about, oh, how do you celebrate holidays, Valentine's Days, stuff like that. And he had a response similar to how I think about it. I think holidays like this or like Valentine's Day, it's something that's I don't really believe in. I think it's a mark on the calendar to just remind you to celebrate, but don't make it an excuse to not celebrate on Monday the 20th of February or something like that, or uh, Tuesday what's the yeah, I mean February doesn't have a lot of holidays, so anytime that there's not a holiday, right? Just random regular days, make sure that you still celebrate your love for your wife or your kids or your father or your mother. Because you very well know you're already talking about how you don't have your stepdad and you never know when
Yeah.
people are gonna be out of your life. So that's my perspective on just holidays in general. I mean, there's always Christmas and stuff and Thanksgiving and stuff. It's a reason to get together, but don't make it the only time that you get together or celebrate anything.
I would agree. I think you should always be grateful of the time that you have because you eventually will be gone. I think Father's Day, I look at Father's Day a little bit different. So I believe being a dad has its own set of difficulties. Like especially being what I would call like a good dad. So if you want to be a super involved, active dad, it's challenging and it takes time and consistency and like you really have to be cognizant of what you're doing, your choices, and how they impact others. So I think what I like about Father's Day and some stuff that has always been done for me, and part of this is having really good partners who I do stuff for them on Mother's Day, right? The kids will always make me something. In fact, like I give my older two after this, I'll probably eat breakfast. I go get them from their mother. I know exactly what they'll do. Like they do when we talk about consistency, I like know what my son's gonna do. Like he'll make me the same thing every year, and I know what my daughter's gonna do. They both make me, whatever it is. So I think that piece of it, my little will probably make me a card or something. But that's the big thing is it's them taking the time to put out effort that is above and beyond what it normally is and appreciate the stuff that I do for them, which I obviously really appreciate. I would do that for my stepdad when he would come. So for him, I would generally cook a meal and he could just chill out because we kind of like switch roles as I got a little bit deeper into to being the dad because my kids are younger and obviously like I'm an old man according to my children, so he doesn't really need to take care of me. Uh, so we kind of started to switch that role where he would come and I would just do stuff for him that was nice and kind of took things off of his plate. So I think that Father's Day gives dads an opportunity to just be appreciated and acknowledged because there's a lot of things that you do that are just overlooked if you're not careful. Like, and you can't like call out all the good that you do all of the time, otherwise you seem less cool, I guess. Like, and it's not even less cool. Like, if you always call out all the good you do, then are you really doing as much as you think you are? So I don't think that you should always pat yourself on the back or be looking for kudos like, hey, I did this for my kids. Hey, I did this for my wife. You just do the things that you should do because of the right things to do. So that's why I like Father's Day. I'm grateful for every day, and I think that you should be. But if you have something that you can do that takes something off your dad's plate, or if you know that there's something he really likes to eat, for me, it's actually my family's always kind of been food centered. Uh, what can you do or bring that would be different or special, just to kind of show that little bit of appreciation for your dad or with your dad. I think with is probably more important than for. For me, it's the value of what can I do with my kids, generally speaking. On Father's Day, it's what can they do with me, and generally we'll do something that way. So I think for me on Father's Day, what I really appreciate is when I get something special with my kids versus just them getting me a random gift that flower. Like, you and I've talked about flowers. I think flowers are not for me. I think they're beautiful, but I don't really love them for me. My wife doesn't super like, she appreciates them, but I rarely buy her flowers. I buy her other stuff. Just like flowers are kind of not our jam. So I definitely agree with uh flowers don't make I don't know if it make me feel if the inside is the right way, but like I look at them, I'm like, oh, those are gonna be pretty for about 2 days, and then they're out. So yeah, so that's kind of how I look at Father's Day. Of It's a really great opportunity for you to do something with your kids and to appreciate your dad and share that little bit of extra time that you can, because life does get really busy.
Yeah, I mean, again, some interesting stuff you brought up. I think the appreciation thing kind of brings up some things that my wife and I are we talk about, and we've been talking about pretty often. Um, Probably since Cammy's health issues have come up. Just how can you sow better, better, better things, or she her translation is seeds. So how can you sow better seeds?
Mhm.
And I don't know if that makes sense to you. Uh, just in terms of you sow what you reap kind of thing.
Yeah.
So giving that appreciation to my dad when maybe I don't know if I would otherwise, just to see that come back to me via my kids. I think that's a definite opportunity for just to do something good. Because I mean, I think I've talked to you about how my relationship is with my dad. It's always been a top-down relationship kind of thing. And like you talked about how your family's food centric, our family is very food centric. Um, we we eat every meal together for the most part. So it's just maybe not breakfast because I can't I can't do the carb overload right in the morning because I'll get to be like an afternoon wreck. Uh, but like I mean, I don't know if Vietnamese food for the most part is very carby. Uh,
Delicious.
rice noodles, rice, and then more rice. Um, so I mean, we have our lunch together all the time. We have our dinner together all the time. I think you want if it was up to him and my mom, we would have breakfast together as well. Um, but yeah, I mean, it hits something in me when you say, "Oh, what does he like to eat?" Maybe grab that. Uh, And I agree with the full the well, what was it, width versus floor. Um, but I guess a question for you is I would never really try to force anybody to do anything for me. Is there a certain way that you push your kids to do something, or is it just they reach a certain age and you are the way you are with your kids, and they just happen to do that on Father's Day for you?
I don't ever force anything, especially like gift giving. Like I think that if in order for it to be a gift, you have to want to give it. So for us, it's never a forced thing. I spend a lot of time with my kids talking about how can we be grateful and what can we do for other people. And I talk a lot of positive things to like, hey, this is what, grandma and grandpa did for you. Hey, like this is what we're doing as a family. Like, hey, what can we do for them since they're being good to us? So there's always that piece of it. There's always, I really push, I think gratitude is probably one of the top three things that we probably talk about as we have things that happen. A great example, my daughter had a dance recital, I think it was last week and the weekend before. And my mom, my aunt, my little brother, both of my wife's parents came to watch her. And we're talking, they got like 15 minutes of her time, maybe, probably less. But they got to watch her dance, which was great. She did a great job. I was very proud of her. But they came out to see her and support her. So for her, every time she sees them, there's always gratitude and like, hey, I appreciate that you came to do this. You didn't have to. I appreciate that you're showing up for me. And what can I do for that? And I push that a lot. I push a lot of, hey, you should be excited to see these people. You should be excited to spend time with grandpa. You should be excited to spend time with grandma. Like you need to be grateful that they're here because not everybody has these things. And again, the way we've structured our family, like I'm very fortunate that I have very involved grandparents who they're just great. Like they're really good to my kids. Even like on my in-law side, they treat like their non-bio grandkids just like all the other kids. On my side now, it's my mom and my aunt treat my kids great. And I very much push like, hey, we need to be appreciative of this because family isn't always around because it's not. And for me, I don't have a lot of family left. I think we're dwindling a little bit. And I never have because a lot of my family, when I was real little, a lot of my family got into like an accident, and I think I lost like my one of my aunts and my grandma, and like in one fell swoop, that was like half of our family, and then all of a sudden, like things just kind of like deteriorated. And when we moved, obviously, I only had whoever moved with us. So I very much push, let's be grateful for what we have and for what they're doing for us. Because in order for them to do something for us, they need to be with us. And that is what I think is important. So I don't push them to do anything. I just know that what they're doing for me will be shared with me later. It's very rare that I say, hey, I want this. A great example is I know a lot of dads, I have a feeling a lot of dads get grills for Father's Day. That is something that is for me to share with my family because it's not like I'm going to go out there and cook one hamburger. Well, okay, I personally would do that if I was by myself. I still could do that, but beside the point, like that's something that I can do that is a little bit different that I can do with my family, even though the gift was for me. So I look at even if it's for me, how can I share it with my family? That's kind of like my whole dad philosophy, I guess, as we get into it with the three pillars of show up, be consistent, and default to no. It's these are all with behaviors. How can I do it with my kids? So I don't ever force anything, but I do appreciate what they do and I make sure they know
Funny you bring up the one hamburger. I did that the other day. Because I only can take so many carbs,
that.
because my family doesn't like, well, my dad does, but he doesn't like. I've been doing like healthier options is probably a better way to do it because we were getting the completely grass-fed hamburgers from Costco, and my dad likes the artificial stuff from Burger King. So, so
Really?
uh,
Maybe I
yeah.
season that meat a little bit better, man.
Well, it's I mean, I think I see it just fine, but it's a little dry. So I've been trying to make it less dry. But I mean, it's not matched by like a Tipsy Cow burger or a Muya burger or something like that.
Yeah.
Because those are very good. Um, but the other thing I would say, and maybe you'll like this. I think I completely agree with what you're saying, but I think it's a little uh reactive. I think there's a proactive part of it that you can do, and I'm still learning this, and I'm not doing it well. But Ian's learning this. She's taken some classes about how to actually sow better seeds and sow more. It's it's those people that don't show up that it's harder to sow those seeds. So to show appreciation to people that maybe not would show up to a recital, or an uncle that you haven't seen in a while, you could give them a gift. People that are kind of out of sight and out of mind are the people the most the people that you haven't spoken to in like 10 years are the people that are the hardest to connect with. Those are seeds to be sowed, um, that are the biggest. Like you could sow a seed that, oh, grandma came to my recital, and yes, you should be showing your appreciation of that. But there are bigger seeds and harder seeds to sow. And it kind of reminds me of when I was telling you about helping people. You can help people that you really like, and that's easy. But helping people you don't like, that's where the fun is. That's where the hard stuff is.
That's where the
So,
growing is.
so that's where I think that's what Ian has been taught, and I think most of that's true. If you can help someone that you really dislike, that 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 seed is that much bigger. So I think all the stuff you're saying is stuff that should be done, but there's some proactive stuff that can be done too. And just whatever they want in life, and I think I'm beginning to believe it, that's what they should sow. Like if they want to get a job, you should help somebody else get a job. So it's kind of like some stuff that you've been doing.
Mhm.
Or if they want to be successful in business, in small business, help someone start a business. And then that's something that they could potentially pick up. And there's unknown details with that, right? Like if you want to start a business and you help someone else do it, you actually gain some experience with helping someone start up a business because you understand what it takes to start a business, right? So I think there's a little bit of part of that. I do hear a baby crying. So, Brian, uh, thoughts on that, or any last thoughts about Father's Day?
All right, so I think what you bring up is valuable. I think that it's easy to be grateful to people that are easy to be grateful for. I do think that it's more challenging to be grateful for people that are butts, lack of a better term. I don't have a lot of those that I interact with really, just because again, for me, like my family is dwindling. Like I just don't have a lot of family left. And the ones that I try, like so a great example of someone that I don't really have a relationship with would be like my stepmother is probably like she just doesn't like me. It's I get it. Like there's as a pretty deep rabbit hole. But what I do is about like ever since my dad passed, I do probably once a month, once every 6 to 8 weeks. I do just send her a text saying, "Hey, I just want to check in, see if you're doing okay." she never responds. But I do feel that being my father's oldest biological child, that it's just a nice thing to do. To say, hey, like, how are you doing? Like, do you want to know how your oldest, how your grandkids are doing? Um, and I just reach out with no expectation of reciprocation, but it's very much trying to just put a little bit good out that way. Because again, I don't need anything. There's literally nothing that I get back from that. So I do see the value in trying to grow a little bit of good, even out of concrete, so to speak. Like there's very little response. Same thing with my sister. Like she just for my biological dad, there's just not a lot of desire on their part to be there, just because I was never, my dad was never around, therefore I wasn't. So I think what you said is incredibly valuable. I think that you should always be appreciative of what you have and be appreciative for who you have. And if you really want to grow as a person, try to find things to appreciate about people that make it difficult. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I would say you're doing it exactly how it should be done. Sending good things out there and expecting nothing in return. And that's all you can do. You can't expect people to do what you want, right? But the nice and the good things that you can put out there. Um, again, if you really believe in it, you sow what you reap, right? Or reap what you sow. I keep backwards saying it. Um, I guess that's Vietnamese in me because everything in Vietnamese translates backwards. Um, so I would say do it just like that. I mean, help people as much as you can, people that you don't like, people that don't show up for you, but still remember the people that do show up for you and
Mhm.
obviously appreciate them because, I mean, don't lose those people. So put good things out there. I think just keep doing that and think good things will happen for you. And I should be doing more of that. And I have a sister that I don't connect with very often, and I probably should send her a text every so often. But you can never really expect anybody to reciprocate. But if they
Mhm.
do, that makes your life that much more rich and fulfilling to make those connections that maybe you've lost and make more. And then you can share that with your family, your kids, and things like that.
I would agree. All right, since it is Father's Day, I think we're trying to keep this one a little tighter on time, so we don't just kind of, speak for 20 minutes, 40 minutes on whatever. So I think kind of recap, appreciation is fantastic. So if you haven't said Happy Father's Day to your dad, I'd reach out and say Happy Father's Day, even, if you want to build that relationship. Even if your dad's been, a little bit distant or whatever, does go a long way to be appreciated. Uh, Doing things for and with, understand the difference. You can get something for someone so you can do it with them. I think that's incredibly valuable. And I think that you called out something really, really powerful of it's really easy to be appreciative of people that are easy to work with. They're easy to be involved. And you should also try to appreciate the people in your life that are not easy, that are less than ideal. And I think the whole point of gratitude and being grateful and of being a dad and setting a great example is you have to choose the right path, and the right path to be a really good dad, in my opinion, to be great, is not the easy path. It's choosing to do the hard things over the easy things. It's choosing to be better so that you can show and teach your kids how to be better and how to be the best versions of themselves. So I think that's kind of the point of today is, you got to choose the right heart and you got to choose the best path, and you have to be grateful for what you have.
Yeah, I completely agree. One thing, and I kind of heard it from Jay Shetty too. These are all about ideals that we strive for, and I'm not perfect. Brian's perfect, but uh, uh, try is the word that I always say start somewhere. We're not perfect. We're never perfect. You cannot always be perfect. You're gonna go through a bunch of emotions. Oh yeah, you haven't reached out to this person in so long. What happens if you do this? Start somewhere. I'm not perfect. I don't reach out to everybody. I don't reach out to people that are even near me sometimes. So it's just a matter of just starting. These are just ideals that I'm talking about. Person that I want to be, person the things that I want to work on. So just start somewhere, um, and just do good out there. All right, Brian. I will talk to you next week.
All right. Have a great day. Thanks, man.
All right. Have a Father's Day. See ya.
You too. Bye.
Bye.